So for this week's Friday video, we're going to do a farm tour. And I know you guys enjoy these farm tours. And they are as important as the tractor stories as far as preserving history. And I did do a tractor story this week, but it's in the written form, if that makes sense. So I will let you guys know when that is in print, because we'll probably do a video to go along with it. But I worked on a print story this week. So I thought, let's do a tractor or a farm tour. And this is probably, I don't know, definitely within my top 3. This could be my favorite farm. To me, this is what I picture a Western Wisconsin dairy farm. I'm at the Jim Weiss farm, and this barn hasn't had cows in it for quite a few years, and he still maintains everything really nice, and it's just clean. You know, white barn, gable roof, as opposed to a hip roof. You know, it's pretty, and I like harvesters. So you got a 20 by 80 harvester built in 1977. I believe this is a Goliath unloader in this, but they liked it so much that in 1978 put up must be a 50-foot corn unit, 20 by 50. Yeah, count the rings and do you know what year the original barn was built?
1918.
1918. So then that's the traditional barn. Then you got a hip roof addition. When was the addition done?
71.
71. So when you came back to the farm?
That's when I got out of college, put in some army time, and came back to the farm.
Okay. So you needed to add a few more cows if you're going to have another family on the farm, right? Yeah. And so we're there. Well, here, if you got a second. So the first silo was 64, then it went right to the harvesters.
The hay unit, yeah, in 77, and the corn unit in 78.
And that stave silo, which is over here, you said is actually a 20 by 50 because it's in the ground.
Yes.
It's a pit silo.
I guess.
Well, there's places on this farm that have a fairly high water table in the spring. Did that silo get wet?
No. We actually put a drain in it. I don't know why. It comes out to the west. I've never knew it to drain, really.
So then, in 71, so before the harvester, you were filling both these hay mounts then?
Yes. All the way up to the top.
That was a lot of square bales.
Yeah.
So did you have a mow conveyor, or did you have to move the elevator?
There's a conveyor that goes to the north section.
Yep.
And there's a conveyor that went up to that, so we'd drive straight in with the wagons and throw the bales on the conveyor, and they dump in the back end. We did not stack them.
Okay. Because a lot of guys, Durand used to put in mow conveyors for guys that would actually have a trip, so you could slide that down the...
There are 4 dump stations on that conveyor.
But yeah, for 1918, she's still in pretty good shape. I'm assuming that's where the hay loader went. The grapple. What was on the other end? Okay. Was there a granary in this barn too?
Yeah. All that stuff is gone. This was the original milk house. Then there was a chicken coop about where the silo sits. There were all identical buildings on the neighboring place that I did own. And there was a granary below that and a double hog barn, which one half of the hog barn was round.
Really?
And then there were like pie-shaped farrowing stalls. There was a circular part, and then circulating.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, this was a bunk feeder on that silo. Did it have an apron in it at one time?
Still does.
Oh, it does.
There was one huge downfall. If a cow pushed another cow, we've lost, who knows, half a dozen cows in there.
Really?
Get tipped in when we're running around, then they died.
Ah.
And we put dirt in the bunk there, and you can see the motor over there that ran the conveyor.
Yeah, the drive unit. Badger silo unloader in there, though.
Yep.
Was that surface drive or ring drive?
Surface.
Okay, with the big concrete wheels?
Yes.
Yeah. I bet after having the harvester, though, you didn't like this silo quite as much.
I never did like it quite as much because it was my job to climb up the chute and move the doors and hang on to the silo unloader as we raised it up so it didn't pivot in a circular pattern.
Ooh.
And it was dirty, and I got to take a shower afterwards.
Well, then the harvester was a real improvement.
Oh boy. All I had to do was go up the top, open it up.
Yeah.
And we could chop silage. And my job was to cut hay all the time. My brother hauled it in and unloaded, and Dad got the chop.
Yeah.
But I just kept on cutting all the time, and then if I was done cutting, they'd keep chopping.
Well, a 20 by 80, you could feed a lot of cows with a 20 by 80, for sure.
Yeah, all our cows, it didn't last us 6 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then in 85, you added a freestall barn.
Yep. Oh, Lester's. Did I say Clary?
Yeah.
It's Lester's, I'm sorry.
Well, Lester's had agents over here selling for them.
Yep.
Right? But Comro, it's still known for their freestall dairy setups today. They designed
They put in all that metal, the tie stalls.
Is there still stalls in there?
Yeah.
So it was tie stalls, not free stalls?
There were free stalls, and I made some tie stalls. Let's see. Nope.
Okay. Oh, okay, so you got free stalls.
All the way around.
Yep.
And then I had made tie stalls here for extra cows.
So you switched a few cows briefly.
Yes.
You didn't like switch cows?
We just did it.
Yeah.
We used to, in what we would call the bullpen in the barn, I could hold 3-4 cows in that. And then the pipeline line ran right through it. So I just sit in there with one unit and milk 4 cows around me.
So that, a lot of times with maternity pens or something and
this
fresh
was
cows.
kind of maternity pens here.
And you had a waterer there.
Yep.
Is that a Ritchie? No, it's blue.
It's blue. It's I don't remember what the brand was on it. Can't say.
So
Pride.
Oh, okay.
Pride of the farm.
Right?
Yeah.
They made those steer stuffers and hog feeders too, I believe.
Yes.
So you had a conveyor that ran.
It came in up there.
Okay.
And went over here, and that's what this is, to hold it up. And then it went right down the center of the bunk all the way.
So you could feed TMR or just straight silage?
Yes, straight corn silage we found out didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't slide down the pit.
Oh, yeah. So this was, you were saying this is a gravity flow
Yes.
manure system in here, and this was the first one of its kind.
Yes. The other one that I know of was out in Vermont or someplace.
Did you like it?
The gravity flow?
Yeah.
After we learned how to use it.
And obviously, they decided to do things differently today. You don't see a lot of that, do you?
I haven't.
Mostly alley scrapers and.
Yep.
But how many freestalls were in here?
I can't tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40.
Okay, so you'd put springers in here and dry cows.
The older, it started out smaller on the left.
Okay.
And worked its way around.
Yep. So you'd have young open heifers in here. Were you AIing heifers too?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't been back here for a while. Shit. I don't know where this came from.
When's the last time there were cattle in here?
Oh, when J.R. Hagelin was here, and he died last February, probably 10 years ago or more.
Okay. Was he switching cows out of here too?
No.
Oh, okay.
He didn't have that many cows. We had room for 65. He probably had 50, 45. There's been a coon around here.
Well, they get around. Is the Oliver, that's a family tractor, ain't it?
No.
What's not?
We used to have Olivers when we first came. That's why I bought it.
Oh. But you're more of a deer guy.
Yeah, except for these two tractors. And I got them because my grandpa used to have a co-op tractor like the number 3 there.
They were fast.
They go 30-something miles an hour.
Right.
I didn't know you knew that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Richard Knight used to pull them at the Pierce County Fair and River Falls and stuff.
They're too fast for the gear.
For the steering.
Yeah. They always said years ago that guys would take a tractor like that and have their cattle trailer or whatever and haul livestock to Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Wow.
So this just gets, I'm sorry, but it's all stuff just stored here nowadays.
That's what happened with all my barn has turned into a catch-all.
Okay.
We're filling it up, and it's too bad that, well, my daughter has taken an interest in livestock, and I was very anti having livestock around, and now I think it's good for kids, so I guess there's going to be a few head of livestock, so I'll have to do something at the barn.
I do have some that you probably can see out there.
Are those yours?
I bought them.
Okay. I thought maybe you were still renting the pasture out, but
I am, but last year they could only stay there a month because we had no rain and it was too dry. Grass didn't grow.
Yep.
And I'm in the wildlife habitat program for the NRCS.
Yep.
And one of my enhancements on my five acre pasture was to have some cattle on there. And Pavang suggested I have some this year.
Really?
And my limit was like 5. And I saw these 5 nice Herefords advertised for sale the end of April. And they ended up here.
You like having cattle around again?
Yeah.
You like reason to come check the...
Yeah. And my little grandson likes to see them. And I got a bull, like he came about the end of July.
Yep.
And the heifer's been here since the 1st of May. And they were all like about 13, 14 months when they came.
Yep.
So they're in pretty good shape out there. At first, there was no way they could keep up with the grass. Now they're doing okay.
Yeah. Well, we dried up a little bit. I just told a buddy of mine from Illinois today, there was 2 weeks ago when we had that rain. That was probably the first time all year I said, I hope we get a little rain.
Yep, exactly. I said that too.
So then the main barn, did you go through the milk house for the most part when you went into the barn?
Yes, all the time.
So
now my daughter has chickens here, so I can't open the end barn door.
Right. When was this milk house added?
When we first came here, there were milk cans used.
Yep.
And so the cooler is still in there yet.
Yeah, they had a tank in the ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With just water. You stuck the cans in.
Yep.
Then probably about 56, about 3/4 of that milk house was built. And then we got a bulk tank.
Was it an ice bank?
No. And then we added on about the last 25% later. And
it seems like you never have a big enough milk house.
Well, then about 10 years ago, it wasn't being used. Hagelin was gone. Then the wall inside tipped in. And I cleaned all that from the driveway. And that's when I pulled the bulk tank out because I had an opportunity to do that then. Otherwise, when they put it in originally inside this wall, you could see where they had sawed the door bigger to get the tank in.
A lot of times they'd build a false wall, kind of, and yeah, and the bulk tank, I'm assuming, went for maple syrup.
Yes, it did. To someone else.
Okay.
It was a 800-gallon. It was too small for us.
Well, the problem with the drive-up hay mow is once you quit heating the barn with livestock is that frost heaves whatever it can heave.
Good, but I don't have any cracked up cement.
Oh, really?
No.
So is that a block? It was a block wall that it gave out?
In here, yes.
Okay.
My daughter keeps her stuff here. And see, you can see here where they made it bigger to get the bulk tank in originally.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the original wall.
Yes.
So then was this a vacuum pump room then? Would you?
The vacuum sat right there.
Okay. So then when you were actually milking, when you're in and out of the milk house, you didn't have to listen to the vacuum pump run, which is pretty nice. So then the compressor, would that have been out here at that window?
Right there where it says Ellsworth Creamery. And when I took that out, I needed my skid steer and a pallet.
Yep.
We got it pushed onto that because that puppy was heavy.
This was a big milk house.
So you can see openings like where stuff went yet. And
yeah. Yeah, that was the vacuum line came through right there. And then
the vacuum, the lines for the milk and that was right here.
Okay.
Where that came in.
So the receiver jar
sat right there.
What kind of
it was all surge.
It was all surge. From Steiner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, big milk house. So the bulk tank fit in here the whole way.
Sat right here.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's always nice to have room in the milk house.
Oh, yeah. So I'll show you the barn here. My wife's cats just inhabit this.
Boy, it's still pretty good shape as far as, you know.
I see there's a crack here now, but
yeah,
hadn't really noticed that before. But going on down the line, you don't see anything. The floor, cow mats are all in here yet.
Yeah, you had mattresses. These are the mattresses, right? And those were just.
I put those in originally up to your left.
Yeah.
When Hagelin came, he put in the mattresses going the rest of the way.
They call them pasture mats, maybe, or something.
Maybe.
I had those and they were all right, but what year was the steel put in? Because these are a little different looking tie stalls.
Oh yeah, they went in at different times. I haven't been in here for a while. Things are kind of ratty looking.
I don't know. It's for a barn.
These used to be pens up on this end of the barn and stuff.
Yep.
And that's why we took them out and put in tie stalls for more cows.
Okay.
But Denny never really used those this way.
Well, that's a big, so you got a 3-inch vacuum line, huh?
Yep.
But is that an 1.5-inch pipeline? Yeah.
I think so. Or is it 2?
Is it 2? It looks almost like 1.5 inches, but maybe it's 2.
I can remember it went in the winter months, and them guys would come in and walk right in between the cows and weld them together.
Really? What, before this pipeline, did you have buckets?
Yes.
De La Velle?
Surge.
Oh, you had the surge buckets with the strap over
the cow.
Well, you must have thought that was...
And shotgun cans.
Yeah.
So we went straight from shotgun cans to the pipeline.
Well, you must have thought between the pipeline and the harvester, farmer wouldn't get any better.
Right.
Boy, the glass blocks are still in really good shape, too.
There's some that broke that I replaced, but most of them are all in here yet.
The whitewash, did you have Lanchas out of Wabasha? Whitewash?
Denny had to do it at the end. I don't know who he got. There's getting to be less guys doing it.
Yeah. Yep.
So
So then these stalls were added. Oh, there's the receiver jar.
Yep.
Right there.
Right.
Was it a surge tank too?
Yep.
Okay. Was it one of those white ones?
Nope.
Okay. Electric pulsation.
Yep. Denny had a different. He had different milkers and stuff where he did not use like this kind of stuff.
You have air pulsation.
Yeah, I believe he did.
Yeah. They're pretty simple, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, these stalls are definitely not as old as the others because you can still see the galvanizing on them yet. So these were added quite a bit later then.
Probably in the 80s.
Okay. So yeah, there is. So the stalls in the addition are different than the stalls in the main part then.
Yeah, when we added on that half of the barn, then we put in tie stalls right away, and then we gradually say do one or the right or left side to add in and take the stanchions away. There are 23 rows of blocks there.
Really?
Went down that deep.
Wow. Oh, so there's a footing. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, these stalls are still in pretty good shape. They were replaced once?
Not from here on down.
Oh, these are the
Both
original from
sides are-
71.
Yeah, they're original ones yet.
Wow. Fluorescent lighting.
Yep.
That was a killer for me in my barn, was that old fluorescent lighting like this was corroding, and they grounded the ballasts out to the conduit. Mm-hmm. And the conduit would touch different things, including the water lines. We had 14 volts on a water line. And if you want your cows to milk, they need to drink water.
Yep.
And they don't like to drink when they're getting shocked.
That's right.
So that's got to be a Berg.
That's Berg. My grandpa was a Berg dealer. And I didn't like my grandpa when I was in 1971. He'd be here before 8 o'clock every morning to do equipment like this. Yeah. And we'd just hardly be done milking, and I'd want to go up and eat something.
So is this the original Berg head on it yet?
Yep.
But I'm sure you replaced the chain.
Oh yeah, the chain's shot right now. By the time Denny got done, he'd clean twice a day just so it'd take it out.
Just so it wouldn't break.
Yep.
So you had a bullpen in here?
Yeah.
Originally for the bull.
Right.
And then I'm guessing in later years.
I could do AI myself.
Yep. So did you put calves in here then?
Not really. This would be a pen for a cow to calve in. Or like I said, if we had too many cows in the warm months, we'd have 3-4 cows in there. Yep. And there was the plug-in, I'd be right in the center and
then you
milk them.
Then you got to pitch it out though.
Yeah.
So probably not as fun to keep a lot of cows in there all the time.
Right.
But, sometimes in a pinch,
it worked out.
Yeah.
God, I'm kind of disappointed how shabby it looks in the barn here with
I think
wraparound.
For not having cows in for years, I'd say she looks pretty good.
It's been 12, 13 years since there's been cows in here. Trying to figure out what to do with my beefers. I don't really want to let them in here in the winter.
Just give them part of the freestall barn?
That's what I'm thinking, or else I'm looking for a home for them for a couple months. I bought 50 big square bales of hay last week.
Can the cows walk out? So would the cows
No.
walk out? Okay. So where would the cows walk out?
That
end. Oh, okay. Well, you could one thing you could do.
Well, I got the side door that I could let them in too. We don't have any circulating fans in here anymore. They got sold at the auction.
Yep.
And I had big 4-footers up in the mouth.
Yep.
That we just opened the panels up down there where the ropes were.
Yep.
And it'd suck them. That was a good thing.
So the drinking cups too.
sold them to, well, I had all different drinking cups, and JR didn't like them, that style, and he gradually replaced all the others, so he ended up selling the cups.
What if you took what if you just took some gates? You got a skid loader. You can get it in here with the skid loader.
Yeah, I always did straight out that door, but my daughter's chicken coop is sitting there right now.
Yeah, I was just thinking it'd probably be good for the barn to have some cows in here if you went and got some lime screenings and filled the gutter in.
Mm-hmm. It's a thought.
Gated it off, take some gates, and just only give them so much room.
Yeah.
Where you could come in with the skid loader, and then you could turn them out. You know, once a day you could let them out for exercise and bring them back in at night to bed
So that's
down.
my old barn.
Yeah. We go up in the haymow?
You can if we go outside and I open the door.
Why don't we do that then? Yeah. So.
And you can see why I want to put steel on the end of the barn. You know, you can look out that way.
So you got the hay in here. Did it feel kind of cool to put hay back in the haymow again?
Yeah. I know how to do it, so I want to take that door out and just put steel along there, and I don't need the door.
That's the gooseneck off of the...
Yep, off the corn unit.
Yep.
Took that down because we just had an auger going up to it for beans, when I put some beans in there.
Yep. So...
Otherwise, it's just a catch-all. Here's where my conveyor's back there yet.
Yeah.
It came out to about here and went straight up to that one.
So you'd pull in
Straight
the center doors and then just unload out the side end of this conveyor.
Yep.
It'd go up there to the mow conveyor where it'd tip off.
Maybe, I don't know if you can get through there if you want to. We can go this side.
Yeah. Oh, a zero bulk tank. Boy, you don't see a lot of zero stuff anymore.
My brother saw that once up by Ellsworth, and we bought it, and we didn't use it last year. Now I'm going to start tearing it apart for everything that's on here, because this is our sap wagon.
Yep.
This car, this is my brother-in-law's. He has a friend that comes back from Asia every year for 6 weeks, and they let him drive that car. And then the friend bought the car, and then he asked me if I could board it someplace, so here it sits.
Well, at least you can get it up in the haymow.
Yeah, you can see, I put new plywood flooring here on this half a few years ago.
So there's the elevator that you would put up to the mow conveyor then.
Yeah, but that'd be back there.
Yep. Yep.
And then my TMR always sat right in here because the conveyors came up from downstairs.
So that's pretty cool. There's the harvester roller mill.
Yep.
Was that new with the harvester?
Yep.
So.
And my cousin built all the switches down there, Bob Comroe. And he had everything. You could time it all out and whatever. Then the mixer set, there was a conveyor that went up into the mixer.
What kind of mixer? Tumble
mixer? It was
mixer?
a Knight.
Oh, it was a real Augie.
Real Augie. And it sat here, and when we'd have bag feed too.
Yep.
And I'd use a tractor and loader, get a bucket full, drive right up. I could dump it in the mixer.
Yep.
Just mix it all up, and then it would shoot out in there too.
So you could go outside.
Yeah, outside over to the freestall barn.
Or just down into the mangers.
Yes.
So a drop for each manger?
Yep, we could go either side, just reverse the belt.
Yep. So this had, that unloader, I'm assuming, has been rebuilt multiple times in that harvester, but was it always a Goliath?
Yeah.
Is that the original unloader always rebuilt, or did you exchange it?
Exchanged.
Okay.
I don't think the one in there is any good anymore. Actually, JR bought it when he needed to update it.
Oh, does that go right up to the cupola then, huh?
You mean
On
the hay
top?
conveyor?
No, that vent right there. So that's up to the cupola up on top of the roof then.
Yeah.
Man, boy, look at the way that this haymow was built.
Yes.
Because this is wooden peg construction. This part, ain't it?
I don't think so. I don't know for sure. I mean, things kind of got bad sometimes, so I mean, we had to fix.
That must have been, well.
No, there's bolts in there.
Yeah.
And I think over here it always said 1918. Where are you? I don't see it right now.
There was a spot on our house that said 1909. And when was the house built? Because
1902.
Okay.
The cornerstone says right on it yet.
Because that's a brick house, and
yep, there weren't many of them.
no.
That was kind of probably expensive.
I would guess with a house like that and a barn like this that they had a pretty good herd of cows, or
No.
Really?
The guy that owned this place was an insurance salesman. He never farmed. He rented it out all the time. And the house where, the second house where my dad lived,
Yep.
There was a small house there.
Yep.
And I can remember when I was little seeing it going out the driveway because Dad didn't want to buy it. And there's 4 houses in a row in Plum City that were houses brought in like that.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Oh, so you were saying on the Harvestor, she was 38,000 brand new.
Yep.
Because Harvestor, well, that 1970s inflation, I bet by 1981 that silo probably cost over twice as much as that.
Yeah, because there'd be other guys around the area that would be building them. And then Harvestor, they were always promoting stuff to beat heck. And
yeah.
And they'd bring in groups of people, you know, and make you feel good.
Well, it still got the stand for the windmill.
Oh, yeah, I'll never take that down, but the tree must have grew a lot from the days because there's no fan up the top anymore. It got beat up.
Yeah. Oaks, though.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't plant a few maples in the yard so you didn't have to go so far.
There's a lot of trees that when I was a little boy, they're here yet. Like these bigger trees in the yard.
Yeah, they probably weren't that big, huh, back then?
I don't know, they seemed this big. Used to be kind of neat to climb up the Harvestor hay unit, look down at the hay unit, or the tree here, and see the wind blowing, and you were over the top of the tree.
Right. Yeah.
So.
No, you got, what's cool too is you've got a lot of acres around the farmstead where you can do a lot of farming without having to go on the road.
Yeah. It was an original 160 that my dad bought here.
Oh, there's the beefers.
Yep, that's the him out there I can see.
Okay, yep. I'm a little rusty without having cattle since 2009, but I can still tell that.
Yeah, and like I said, the grass is getting long because today's Friday. We'd mow Friday or Saturday. And
we bought a new lawnmower in the spring of 2021.
Yeah.
And I think it's got 64 hours on it.
That's it.
But I looked at the hours on it since the last oil change. We've put twice as many hours on this year as if you would average any of those other years in there because we've been so wet.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, heck, 2022 and 2023, I think we only put a few hours on it.
Yeah.
So that's where the tunnel fans went.
Yep.
Berg barn cleaner. Where'd you keep the spreader tractor then in the winter?
Up in the machine shed.
Okay.
That was my dad's job. My brother and I milked. And about 8 o'clock, we could hear him banging on the spreader when it was froze. And then he'd back down here and we'd throw the switch on. And when he got done, he hauled it out and came back. And then we were ready for breakfast.
Well, so Berg was famous for this barn cleaner because the split chute.
Yes.
So you didn't have a reverse curve.
Did we redo that once to make it a split chute to not be so much of an angle?
Yeah.
I could be lying too.
Well, I know that was Berg's thing, was to have a split chute. And in later years, what people went to instead of, because this isn't a bad incline.
No.
But if you still had a lot, if you had ran a drinking cup over or something, would you still fight it?
Yeah, we'd usually succeed.
But a lot of guys just went to later years. They just excavated this out a little bit, backed under, and but still. So how many times do you think in your lifetime you? Because I'm guessing when you were a kid, the cows went out all the time, and so
later years, throw the cows out at night. Yeah.
So was there more pasture here at one time?
Back when we were first here, yeah, fields. This probably was a field here. They just went straight. They weren't contoured.
So then, yeah, so you'd have to walk the cows in the morning, which I never minded that in the summertime. Bring them in.
Way back, there was a cow lane that went out here off the center of the barn, went straight east up to the fence line, went north, and there was a wood lot out there.
Did you let the cows in the woods?
We did them.
Yeah.
But what do they get to eat there?
Just shelter if it.
Yeah.
Boy, it's almost like that corn looks pretty good for a wet year. It's almost like you got some tile out here.
That I don't regret doing that.
So here is a view of the farm from the south. Like I said, this is just what I picture when I think of a Wisconsin dairy farm. It's just a beautiful farm, and the way they keep it so nice. It's kind of funny. He's self-conscious about the way the barn and the lawn and stuff looked, and I think it all looks beautiful. And here's the farm from the west. Once again, this is what a farm should look like, you know? All right, well, my favorite farm, I guess, will still always be mine. I do love where I farm. So I thought as long as I was driving up, it's my favorite view of it. I don't know, I like it from the south. It looks pretty good from the west too. But you guys, I think I did a farm tour video a while back, but can't see the house real well because all the trees are on there, but it's cool. If you haven't seen that video, here's the yard. Here's the house. It's a Victorian house, a really big, old Victorian house. 1909, the house was built. The barn was built in 1957, added on 1967. So I guess this is my favorite farm, but Jim's is, yeah, probably at least number 2. There's a 1.5, I don't know, but anyways, yeah, these farm tours are important too. They're really important. I've watched so many beautiful farms, kind of the buildings just, you know, cease to be there in the silos and all that. So this is important. I mean, obviously, I see mine all the time, but you know, I like these farm tour videos. So anyways, oh, one other thing we should do, because it is an anniversary this month. Well, it's still August. So August of 2024 is actually the 30th anniversary of the John Deere 8000 series. And the 8000 series is probably one of the most important tractors that Deere's ever designed. Right up there with the 4010, if not more important than the 4010. This is why they're number 1 today, still. I'd say the vast majority of tractors today are based off of this design, and I'll always get people that are anti-Deere that'll say some things, but the Alice guys will say that's a copy of the Alice cab, and it's not. I've been in 8000 series Alice cabs. It's very different. If you want to say that John Deere borrowed something from this cab, it's the Massey 2000 series with that full vision. Your Alice cabs that you guys are trying to compare don't have a single one-piece windshield or a single one-piece door anyways. But in the cab, what Deere was doing was they took this from the 9500 combine. All the controls on the armrest. And they took it one step further with that one. But corner post display, all your controls at your fingertips. That's the cab, right? Oh, and the corner post exhaust, which Case IH did with the Magnum, but Deere was doing that with four-wheel drives in the 80s. So, I don't know. But what makes this really great is look at the view there. And that's because of the Wasp Weiss design, which was what makes, well, it's the entire 8000 series design is from that. So the idea was you got really good visibility and really good turning by moving the engine up. So the center line of the crankshaft is right around there. It's way taller than on a normal tractor. And that allowed the engine up out of the way, allowed for better turning and way better visibility. So, I know, but the Alice guys will always say something about how this is copied from them. I'd say the only thing that the Alice had before the Deere 8000 was the use of an 8000 number. Not knocking your Alice 8000 tractors at all, but these really were, you know, revolutionary when they came out. And it is also, August 2024 is the 15-year anniversary of the 8R. The 8Rs were introduced 2009, August of 2009 for the 2010 year. So this tractor was built late in 2010. I think September, October of 2010. But anyways, so a little bit of tractor content in this one too. But I think I did plenty other stuff on social media about the 8000 series, but for the 30th here. But can't remember if I did a short on here or not. But yeah, 30th anniversary of the 8000 series, 15th anniversary of the 8R. So there you go. Well, thank you very much for everybody that's been watching these. Let me know if you like the farm tours a lot. It seems like people do, and I enjoy doing those too. We'll do a regular tractor story next week, but and I'll let you guys know when the one that we're doing for in print is up. So, all right, thank you.